I'm starting to wonder if my theory might become true. And it's actually got me worried. It really does. Because with this chapter, Law's arm gets ripped off by Doffy. I'm not necessarily worried about Law not being able to have an arm again because he has the Opi Opi no Mi. He can easily reattach his arm with surgery. The main thing that has me worried is that Doffy, as a character and his personality that's been introduced to us in these past couple chapters, how we've truly found out how he really is, he is not messing around with Law no more. He is not trying to keep him alive. He's not trying to manipulate him. He literally is like, fuck you, I'm gonna kill you. That's pretty much how Doffy is now. And to see how Law no longer has this protection, technically, that he has had through majority of this arc, and it's gone, this is not good. This is not good at all. And to see how Doffy proves this by ripping off his arm in this chapter, it shows you that Law, it might be possible he could die in this arc. I don't want him to die. He's one of my favorite characters of One Piece. He straight out is one of my favorite characters. With the death flags that Law has gotten in this arc and last arc, he has got a lot of death flags. And to see that this chapter, it just makes me question and wonder, is Law going to bite the big one? Is he really going to die, or is he going to make it through this? That's the question we have to wonder, because this is a dude, Law is fighting a dude that would kill his own father and brother and not think twice about it. He doesn't give a shit. And if he can do that to his own family, he can do that to Law. Especially when he says, like, fuck the protection, I don't even care about you anymore. That's pretty much how Doffy was in this chapter. So, it's a very shocking chapter. I really noticed the dialogue in this chapter, too. The dialogue really shocked me. Doffy is, like, fucking with Law's mind right now. Like, in the middle of this chapter, Law was getting his mind messed with by Doffy. Like, he's saying, oh, you could have went many different ways with taking me down, Law. You could have easily made me fight Kaido. You could have easily have done all sorts of things when you had the letter and you had Virgo actually see it. You could have easily fucked up my entire plan of taking over Dressrosa. And it's stuff like that. And to see how he's, like, just firing shots at Law in this chapter, it's messing with his mind, and it's actually psychological warfare that Doffy is using against him. And then you have Doffy ripping off his fucking arm, and you don't even want to probably imagine the pain of your arm being ripped off, especially the way Doffy did it. So you have to go figure that Law is under a lot of pain from both different aspects, physical pain and psychological pain. So yeah, this chapter of One Piece, very brutal. Oh my god, it was brutal. Just straight up brutal, because I just did not expect Oda to rip off Law's arm. Like I said, I'm not really necessarily worried about the arm never being back on Law, because I know for a fact it could possibly be reattached, since he does have a devil fruit power that's pretty much goes to surgery. I'm more worried about the factor that Law no longer has plot armor, so he could possibly just die. He could fucking die. So yeah. Moving on to the other parts of this chapter. The chapter, for the most part, is a very basic chapter. It's a battle chapter. It's a battle-orientated chapter, and the main first half of the chapter is between Law and Doffy, and getting to see how their little fight and disputes going on with psychological warfare, and Doffy ripping off Law's arm. Very interesting stuff going on there right there, and the artwork looks really amazing. And that leads into the second half of this chapter. We get into the factor of Bellamy. So Bellamy, as we can see, is clearly still fighting Luffy in this chapter, and we get to actually see his character development in this chapter. That brings up a lot of things, too, I do want to talk about. Oda is a person that does not put random development on a character. So I am really curious exactly what is Oda's main reason why he is giving so much development to someone like Bellamy. Because with this overall chapter, Bellamy says, like, his final fight will be between him and Luffy. And honestly speaking, I don't personally believe that this might be the final fight with Bellamy versus Luffy, or even at the very least, I don't think this is be the proper fight to settle the character development between Bellamy. Because with this chapter, if Bellamy's final fight is still to fight Luffy, it just does not feel right. Because personally, in my eyes, to make Bellamy's character, like, development complete, he needs to completely help out Luffy, and he needs to help out Law take down Doffy to actually complete his overall character development. That's the way I hope it goes, but we'll have to see where it goes. Now, in this chapter, I like how Oda actually did the flashbacks. Now, usually flashbacks annoy me when it comes to certain manga. It really depends how it's used. But the way Oda implemented the flashbacks in this chapter, it flowed well. It didn't actually irritate me. It actually gave me emotions. It made me understand if I think about Bellamy's situation. And like I said, Oda did a very good job with what he did with the flashbacks. It was amazing flashbacks the way he used them. And so, personally, the chapter is a very good chapter. It just sets up for the final confrontation between Bellamy versus Luffy, Law versus Doffy. Luffy better get over to where Law is, or Law is going to bite the big one. He will fucking die. So, yeah, a lot of setup with this chapter. So, yeah, I'm really hyped up for next week because it's getting very good. This chapter, man, damn, what a way to get back to the present after the flashback with this chapter. Oh my god. So, yeah, tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.